A very good day to you. Welcome here at Professor Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Simon Uhuru, and this is the big question. And before we go to the question, a quick reminder that we are coming to you live every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday with Professor and Jadiel. Wow, I'm really enjoying the conversation. 7:30 in the PM.
PM.
Now, what motivated you to start this YouTube channel?
From the very start, just a conversation with Kenyans. We must keep talking.
Okay.
This is our country.
Okay.
And, when people talk, they discover that the things they thought were difficult are not even as difficult as they thought. Yeah, the things that separated them are so small. The things that bring them together are much more. So through these conversations.
On behalf of the audience, why did you delay the live platform?
It is not easy. It's a struggle. It costs money. You need resources. As you can see, we're just trying.
But anyway, how is the experience?
Oh, it's wonderful. And the feedback is wonderful.
It's amazing.
It's amazing and it's absolutely amazing. And we hope to make it even better, to make the experience even better as we get support from our viewers and other partners. We are looking to partnering with people who want to advertise, politicians who want to come on the show and sell their ideas to their electorate, like in Nairobi here. By the way, we may be a YouTube channel, but our numbers are, for a person looking for numbers, our numbers are good. Actually, there's only one TV station in this country that is ahead of us in terms of numbers.
You mean we are doing
better than all these TV stations in terms of numbers? The numbers don't lie. You can check. Our numbers are far better. When we go live and these other TV stations have live discussion, talk shows, and we are there, we beat them.
Wow, you don't want
Only one TV station is ahead of us. And I can assure you in the next 2, 3, 4 months, we're going to be top. So if anybody wants to advertise, to partner with us, to talk about themselves and their products. You remember we were doing something for Mambo Safi. She stopped. We still have her money. She said, no, keep it.
She said stop.
Stop because she
they are
can't
too
handle
much.
the orders.
They are too much.
That is amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's go to today's conversation, and we're going to be having a conversation around the President of the Republic of Kenya. And the question coming in is, what role will the President be playing in the August 9th general election? And even before we go to that, let's discuss on the trust issues. How are we citizens or Kenyans, are we going to be trusting Uhuru's government to oversee the general election? And he's already shown his preference, where his preference is.
Uhuru's office is constitutional. Okay. It's a constitutional office. Office of the President of the Republic of Kenya. Head of government, head of states. It's a constitutional office. So you can't wish it away. As a human being, he has his own preferences. That's again, we must live with it. And we are not the only ones. World over, people have always, and I've said this many times, people have been faced with this problem. What do you do with a president who is seeking re-election? Going for a second term. You are in America. He has the enormous power of that office. POTUS, President of the United States of America, using Air Force One, with the codes to the nukes.
With the ugly helicopters.
He is the most powerful man on earth, and you are running against him.
Okay.
Secondly, when a Democrat is leaving office, he would want a Democrat to succeed him. When a Republican is leaving office, he wants a person from the grand old party GOP to succeed. So this is not a challenge facing Kenyans. This is a global challenge. And scholars and practitioners of law and politics and politicians will keep discussing these things until sometimes a way would be found out. But what normally helps other countries is a tradition evolves. And the tradition becomes so overbearing, so powerful, and an individual. Trump tried. He found out that when the day to leave White House came, he just found himself outside. When the time to pack your things come, you just find the person packing doesn't even know who you are, that you are president. No.
It's your time to go.
They just know that on such and such a day, a certain room ought to be free. The president will be meeting the incoming president at the fireplace there. There is nothing. It is so. But that now is not about a written law. It is about a tradition that evolves over time. So we will get there sometime.
So this is not a conversation that we are going to be having off the table.
No.
Soon.
It's there. Because after Uhuru, if Ruto takes, as sure as day follows, comes after night, Ruto too will want to be interested in who takes over. Will it be regarding Gachagua or somebody else? It is simple. That simple. If Raila takes over, he will want Martha Karua to succeed him. And you can't. What can you do about it? It is there. It is real. Now, every president in the world, every king, is interested in who succeeds them. The style may differ. The intensity of the interest may differ. There are others who may just be aloof. But there are others who will be interested in knowing actually who succeeds them. Now, they will pursue that interest. How they pursue it will differ from time to time, from place to place, from individual to individual. But it is there.
Right now, in Madaraka Day, the last meeting, a public holiday for the president, he publicly endorsed Martha Karua and Raila. And was it fair for William Ruto and his supporters? Was it fair?
It's not about fair, it's politics.
Okay.
Politics is not a game of fairness.
And will he perhaps have given the deputy president a chance maybe to address the nation?
I
It's been their last term.
I've not had time to try and dig and find out why. But what comes to mind quickly, and what everybody seems to be thinking, is there were intelligence reports of the possibility of ugly scenes if Raila and Ruto were to speak in that function. So they were just kind of forestalling that.
But in previous years, there's always a slot for the deputy
This is
president
the last
to
Madaraka
address.
Day. Everybody thinks Uhuru's lame duck. Somebody could even say, do ugly things. We saw a couple of weeks before that, in fact, a week or so before that, during the prayer breakfast, we saw Ruto breaking protocol. Maybe he knew the president was going to invite Mother because Raila was not there. And he jumped and invited Mother before the president. So that kind of, it is possible. But when people think you are leaving, they could even say anything. And the government has intelligence reports every morning, every evening, every lunchtime. They could have heard that Ruto intends to say this and this, or he has mobilized, and Raila has mobilized, and situations could get out of control.
Okay, will the deputy president have been privileged to address, maybe to hold a campaign on that day? And
he has been doing it consistently. Every time he's given an opportunity, even during a funeral, like the one of Mwai Kibaki, he takes that opportunity to play politics. And people have been watching him, including saying Kibaki is the best president perhaps Kenya has ever had, and that the president is right there. So that wasn't my reading, but that's everybody's reading. So you see, increasingly, every opportunity is given as a deputy president, which basically means as a deputy president, you just usher in the president. He takes that opportunity to speak. And increasingly speak politics.
But as you have said,
now this being the last one, people could have been scared. He could just say or do just about anything.
But you have said the president, he can use the state machineries to carry out campaign for whoever he prefers. Yes. But isn't it the same advantage for the deputy president maybe to address the nation, even if it's just a few months to the general election?
That power the president has, he will use it to deny you the opportunity to campaign if he doesn't want you.
Okay.
People underrate the office of the president. This is an office with tremendous authority and power.
Okay. Now, on the breakfast prayer day, William Ruto apologized to the president, and would it have been better for the president maybe to retaliate in kind, to also maybe forgive the deputy president? It is their last term.
The president knew that Ruto was not sincere, and sure enough, he left that place, hopped into a helicopter, and he was already insulting the president, hurling insult at the president from Mombasa. The following day in Kirinyaga, and say all the things he has been saying about the president. So I wouldn't even blame the president for being angry if he became angry. Here a guy goes in public during a solemn occasion like a prayer day, he says he seeks forgiveness from me, and the following day he's insulting me just barely a few hours. Barely, just hours. Hardly 10 hours after, he's already insulting the president. Or at least hurling insult at him. So, well, I wouldn't blame Uhuru Kenyatta for getting annoyed, if he got annoyed.
Okay. Now, over the last 1 year, the president has always been in defense of what he has done to the nation. And why is it that every time he has to defend himself and maybe try and showcase what he has done for the nation, why is it different from other previous years? We see all these other former president coming out of office and just retiring and handing over to the next president. But the current president has to explain himself what he has done.
Two reasons. One, everybody has their style.
Okay.
Uhuru is not more, he's not his father Kenyatta, he's not Kibaki. He's an individual with his own style. Secondly, circumstances can also change. Uhuru is a bundle of contradictions. Here is a president who has done more than any other president, or all the presidents before him, plus the colonial administration combined for more than 100 years. But here is a president who is perhaps even more hated than Moi. So it's quite difficult for him.
But people are coming out and arguing, saying that there was already a foundation of all the project that the president is carrying out.
Forget about it. That's how all governments work. So even Kibaki, why are the same people quick to say Kibaki that did a lot? He was not building on foundation. Every government comes and finds. The governments exist in perpetual succession. They are there. You come, something is going on, you continue, you start yours, you don't finish, somebody else comes, they finish. That's how governments work. That's how institutions work, church work, everything. You cannot say, you cannot say Uhuru is continuing projects of Kibaki and deny the fact that Kibaki was also continuing things of including even the famed free primary education. It was already a session of paper. It was already something at the tail end. Actually, it is. I think it's Kalonzo as Minister for Education who had worked on it. So that's how governments work.
Okay, so credit to be given where credit is deserved.
Correct.
Okay, now the fallout between the president and his deputy. Now, how do we avoid the same scenario in the coming future? Let's say William Ruto emerges the winner, or Raila emerges the winner. How do we avoid the same scenario?
I have a solution, because it is not healthy for any country to be in a situation we have been for the last 4.5 years. You cannot have a deputy in complete conflict with the president and you expect the administration to deliver the way it should deliver. Ruto has a sizable following in this country. Ruto has a following within the various sectors within government, within the intelligence, within security forces, within the public service, within the civil service, and it's very easy for something ugly to happen. It is very easy for public officers, public servants to sabotage efforts of government. The Ruto forces within government can sabotage government, can in fact commit government to blunders.
You're saying it can get uglier than it is?
Yeah, it can get ugly. It can get ugly. It can go up into security forces. It can go to intelligence. It can go to the other forces. It can mean people can commit government in contracts, serious contracts, knowing very well that's not the way they should do, but they have the signature to commit government into very bad deals. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what my suggestion is, and this is very simple, to avoid the Uhuru-Ruto mess, I propose an amendment to the Constitution that is a very simple amendment. You appoint a running mate, you nominate a running mate, you go to him into an election. Should you get to a point you can't work with that deputy president anymore, you take the proposal to remove him to cabinet.
Perhaps that might be the reason why
Cabinet sanction says yes, the deputy president goes, you nominate another one, you take him to cabinet, is approved, and the country moves on.
Okay, now as we finalize, as we wind up, what role will the president be playing in this upcoming general election, both for the whole government and for Raila? Because
the president will play two roles. One is a constitutional role of overall overseeing that the elections go on smoothly and peacefully. There's that role as head of state and head of government, because all these institutions are under him. He must make sure everything works well, and then ultimately he must hand over power, arrange a smooth transfer of power to Raila or Uhuru Kenya or Ruto. That's the first role. The second role is, since he has a preferred successor, I can see him moving into supporting Raila by doing what he thinks he needs to do to ensure that Raila becomes president. So long as it is not extra-constitutional or unconstitutional, I have no problem with it.
As long as he's supporting Raila, he should maintain a fair game.
I've told you there's no fairness in politics.
Politics is unfair.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where we wrap up the conversation for today. I don't know if your question has been answered. Well, till you do have the next conversation, enjoy the rest of your day.